Hello. So today I feel like this message is really about that connection we have with earth and spirit and trusting that guidance. And I feel like I always say that about every reading, but I don't know. I just really like this one today. Our first card is from the Medicine Heart Oracle by Marlena Fairchild, and it is number 15, Priestess of Talura. And with that one, I'll just read the beginning because it kind of encompasses the whole thing. In ancient and sacred Chinese art of Taoism, life is revered as an expression of supreme wisdom within its own innate and natural healing intelligence. The wise soul chooses to align with the way of life, the Tao, feeling rather than forcing its direction. Earth constantly expresses the Tao, radiating life force through her subtle energy currents. The soul can connect to these vitalizing telluric currents through the body, especially via the soles of our feet, and be spiritually supported by them to grow in wisdom, just as the bird uses invisible currents in the air beneath its wings to take flight. An important decision will lead to significant and uplifting change in your life. Feel for deepest alignment within wisdom to make your choice. As you lovingly and creatively shape your future in harmony with the universe, you may already be sensing an imminent change. Trust Mother Earth's encouragement and support. So I definitely feel like that's what this reading's about, and we'll get into it and you'll see what I mean. I feel like it's deeply about that whole faith aspect, and faith as in not blind faith, as in, subservient type of, my needs are less, so I'm just going to do whatever, It's more like an empowering faith, which I feel like collectively we're kind of understanding a little bit more, where, decades and centuries ago, it was more about, we're being punished and we have to cultivate our own sovereignty through, work and then getting to that point after we die. But it's a long story. Sorry. But I feel like that's what she's talking about. And when she's talking about the telluric currents, that's like the energy that courses through the earth, right? And it's just beautiful when you think about it. If you listen to different sounds, you can look it up on YouTube too, different sounds that each planet makes. It's just really cool. And the frequencies, and it's amazing. The frequency from the earth when you're standing there is similar to your heart. It's just beautiful how it is that way. So, and then right underneath there, we have our Moonology Oracle, which is confidence is the key to success, which is so true, because confidence is kind of like having trust. It's kind of like having faith. You have the ability to do something and you know it, right? Or if you don't feel that you do, you know that somehow along the way, the universe is going to guide you to that point, right? Somehow it's going to work out the way it needs to be. And that's how we really need to live our lives, I feel. With that innate understanding of our inner guidance and trust that it's going to be okay. I also feel like we need to differentiate between faith and trust and courage in recklessness, because recklessness is kind of like an immature type of faith, right? And sometimes that serves its purpose. But right now I feel like differentiating it is important because, sometimes people feel like, well, I was just doing what I feel like and whatever. I feel like if you are in touch with yourself and you're in touch with the confidence in yourself, those other things like fear, guilt, envy, things like that really don't serve us and kind of counteract everything that we're trying to do and kind of drive us towards more behaviors that will cause more problems rather than open up doors in our society, in our lives. I feel like that comes from a non-whole self. So I feel like confidence is different. It's understanding that, I might have a little bit of hesitancy in here, but underneath it all, I understand who I am and what I'm here to do. Even if you don't have all the details laid out, you understand that your guidance is guiding you for a reason. So we'll go to the tarot, which today we're using the Midnight Magic Tarot. It's a tarot of mushrooms by Sarah Richard. So the first row, that is my column of, where we're at, or kind of like what describes you, right? So we have the Chariot, and this is a number 7, and Chariot is, having the drive and the courage, right? determination. I feel like this is a card in this reading specifically is really talking about that drive and determination and knowing that you're being guided in the right direction, that faith, that trust, right? And then underneath of it, we have the Page of Cups. So we have that drive and that faith and that strength and power in a positive and momentous path forward, right? But with the Page of Cups, that's kind of giving us that childlike faith feeling, right? The reason why we're doing this in the whole first place is because, that feeling it gives us, that uplifting and passionate feeling of moving forward in a place that we feel held and sacred and beautiful. And we have our second row, which my second column is always what we need to work on. So we have the Six of Pentacles, and then it goes right into the Seven of Pentacles, which is another 7, which I thought was kind of amazing. So the Six of Pentacles is about even give and take. And it can also be about, being charitable or accepting charity, kind of like the Five of Pentacles in a way. But 5, since it's uneven, it's more like an action. So with that, we kind of like actively need to find out like where we're giving and where we're receiving in this place. We're in this spot where we're actively moving in this path and we're feeling from the universe. And these are both Earth cards. So it's, understanding where we're given to the earth and we're receiving from the earth, right? And where we need to understand that this work that we're doing, because the Seven of Pentacles is often very hard work, but it's hard work in the way that, there is something at the end. We're working towards something at the end. So maybe understanding that, maybe we need to allow the universe to give us a little bit back. We need to allow the earth to give us back a little bit. So accepting those signs and those synchronicities and those gifts that we're just given, if we kind of let them. And then in the third row, this is kind of like our resources we have around us, the energy we have to work with, whether it be us or somebody else, or energy around us, or perhaps it's something that somebody else is giving us, or spirit, or the earth. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, and I love how she puts the Wheel of Fortune as the puffball, because, when they explode, their spores just go everywhere. So they're kind of at the whim of nature, right? And like the Wheel of Fortune, that's kind of how that is. It's like we're at the mercy of the wheel, and we take what we can. And when you ride with the wheel and you kind of let it flow, right? We have that faith and we let it flow. What happens is, things get a little bit easier. The more we resist the changes and flows that we're in, the harder things are. And because it'll come right back around. And then underneath, and for some reason I keep getting the Knight of Pentacles. I mean, he's just been hanging out in my readings lately. But the Knight of Pentacles is moving forward, but in a determined, slow, not rushed, kind of like attentive to detail type of behavior. So this is somebody who's like planning out the path. So, we're going to be using that Page of Cups energy where we're kind of having that childlike faith. But along the way, there isn't any problem with kind of helping a little bit. It's kind of like the balance, like with the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is giving and taking freely, but then the Seven of Pentacles is also, needing to put in a little bit of that work. So taking these gifts that we're getting and receiving, allowing yourself to receive, because sometimes that is part of it, is being a good receiver. And doing that in, what's coming along in the wheel is really going to help us in the long run. So, and then in the last row, we have another 10 also. So we have 2 7s and 2 10s. Maybe that means something to somebody. 10s are usually completion or success at the end of a cycle or a new cycle starting. And 7s are usually like an awakening, kind of like they're very spiritual in nature. And so we have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is like a passionate inspiration. And if you see, she has the hand coming in there, kind of like the hand of spirit coming in and offering the cup. So we're being given this opportunity and this passionate new beginning, and understanding that, if we just let go a little bit, right, things will go the way we need it. I think that we're in a beautiful time where we're really understanding our gifts, and we have to trust. We have to trust our path. And we also have to trust that there is a path for us. And we have to trust that we are given the things that we need, and we will be given. You just have to see it, feel it, actually, not so much see it, but feel it, and trust that intuition and trust in what is being given to us. And that'll give us your 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is that ultimate spiritual and emotional fulfillment. This is life as you would want it. This is, having time with your family, being able to afford to have time with your family, right? Or just being in that flow, right? So I feel like that's kind of where we're at. I feel like, we really need to understand that even when things kind of get a little crazy, we need to understand that we really need to live like we already have it, right? And I feel like this is deeper than that, though. I feel like this is part of understanding who we really are deep down inside and what is possible. And so we have our Liminal Forrest Oracles. First one is trust. And obviously, yes, it's telling us to trust ourselves, trust nature, trust spirit, trust the guides that we have around us, whether that be within or without, or people around us and situations around us. And then we have compass, which is so fitting. I don't normally read the book for these ones. I feel like the pictures and the words kind of help you kind of learn your own intuition, that type of thing. And I feel like sometimes you can get a better reading that way. But for some reason, I decided to look up compass. And her saying says, our potential unfolds when we surround ourselves with individuals who act not as destinations, but as compasses. A compass keeps you on track, moving you in intended direction, and lets you know when you're straying off course. There are people who, through their wisdom, patience, and understanding, guide you subtly yet profoundly. They don't dictate your destination or map out every journey step. Instead, they provide gentle nudges, aligning you with your true north. Their presence is like a beacon in the fog, never overbearing, always reassuring. By embodying the qualities of a true mentor, they ensure that you remain steadfast in your pursuit, even when the path becomes obscured by inevitable challenges life throws you away. Such compasses in our life do more than just guide. They inspire, motivate through their actions and resilience. Observing them tackle their journeys with integrity and grace provides a template for us to emulate. They share their insights not by preaching, but through doing. This subtle mentorship is invaluable, for it teaches us to dream and act with purpose and passion. Who serves as a compass for you? I feel like this is on so many levels. It can be the people around you. It can be somebody that is doing something that you're interested in. But I also feel like this is spirit, and this is the earth, and this is the energy that we're feeling in our inner guidance. Because after all, this whole reading is about trusting that inner feeling and allowing it to nudge you. And I'm sorry about all the traffic. I'm literally like sitting in my car on my lunch doing this, but whatever. But I feel like that's what it is. I feel like it's the energy that we feel and we emulate, and that we kind of like figure out the puzzles just by feeling, right? It's what guides us. I honestly feel like all the things that we're exposed to, whether negative or positive, are partly those compasses. But that card talks about surrounding yourself with like-minded people who you admire, that, oh, I really like how they do that, or this person's understanding really speaks to me. So in a way, we're all kind of each other's compasses, right? And then we have the Herbal Astrology Oracles with number 42, Amanta, as conduit. So this is the fly algork. I always say that wrong, mushroom. And it's kind of interesting because we have mushrooms. But this one talks about being a conduit, being a channel, be a bridger of realities, connections to a higher power, celebration, and coming together in family and awakening. This, I feel like, is the essence of what we're looking for when we go on a spiritual path. This is also, being a channel, being a conduit. We all have that ability to tap into those inner emotions, those inner feelings, and the inner knowing of the energies around us, right? And that's how we become more of a collective consciousness. I think it's beautiful. And then we have the next one, which is, I just thought that was crazy when I pulled it. I know it seems like I make this up, but I don't. But either way, there's a message and I'm telling it. So number 8 is Babasana, which is trust. I've had this before. Trust has been a huge thing for me lately in my readings, as well as the Knight of Pentacles for some reason. But upright, it means self-love, heart retrieval, ultimate state of receivership. See, we need to receive too. Gratitude, receptivity, and compassion. Yes, ultimately, this is what I feel like it's all about. I feel it's understanding and trusting and feeling those things within us and allowing that to guide us, trusting that we can let spirit guide us, right? And trusting that we know what we're doing if we trust our emotions and our feelings. And if you come to a deep state of understanding, then that's all you need. I also feel like truly knowing who we are and getting down to that honest understanding really is knowing. Because like if you're not a confident person, if you deep down inside, like sometimes we overthink. If we get out of our head and we get into our heart, you know the answer. You know the answer by the way it makes you feel. So I feel like we need to tap into that more. We're being asked to kind of look into our feelings and our emotions and kind of sit with that. When something happens, how does it make us feel? When we have a decision we need to make, what does it make us feel? What part of which decision makes you feel, and go with that. Understand that it's hard, allowing your guidance guide you. But so much of that comes into receiving, allowing spirit to give you these signals, allowing that trust, and allowing that courage to know that you have the ability to do these things. I hope that made sense for somebody today, and I will talk to you guys later.